Leonardo AI just released a new model called Phoenix, and it's good. Let's take a look. To get to the Phoenix model from the home page, we just need to go to image generation, which is right here. And then to generate, you want to change this preset over here from whatever it may be on to Leonardo Phoenix. And that's what I'm already on, so we're in good shape there. Most of the settings down this left-hand side will be the same as what you would use when you're creating with any other model. But there's one major difference, which is this new prompt enhance setting for the Leonardo Phoenix model. If you drop that down, you have two options. You have auto and off. If you have this set on automatic, then it's going to take the prompt that you entered into the prompt box, and it's going to expand it and add details and make it all fluffy and wordy. And I don't know about you, but all those fancy words and fluffy detail are what hangs me up when it comes to writing prompts. But that detail is really important, apparently, in providing all the clues and the style and all the pieces that if you don't specify one way or another, it's got to pick something and put something there. The rest of the options are similar to what you'll find with the other models. You have the preset style. Dynamic is the one that lets it choose by itself what kind of preset style it should be using. But if you have something specific in mind for this style, you can definitely select it here. And sometimes that'll pop up within the prompt as well when it auto enhances the prompt. There are a lot to pick from here in terms of styles. And something that I like to do is try different styles for this with the same prompt and see what the difference is. And if I notice one style is getting me closer where I want to be, then I might try tweaking the prompt then with that particular style. Contrast, choose low, medium, or high. The generation mode, you choose between fast and quality. Fast, in this case, I'm skipping ahead here, but I have the dimensions at medium of 1376 by 768, and so that is going to cost me 10 tokens to generate on fast. If I switch that to quality, it's going to cost me 32 tokens to generate. And if you've been using Leonardo for a while, quality is basically alchemy, having that alchemy pipeline turned on. Fast is turning it off. The generation mode, whether you choose fast or quality, the size of the image, whether you go small, medium, or large, and the number of images you choose to generate. All of those things affect how many tokens it takes to generate an image or set of images. Under the advanced settings with the Leonardo Phoenix, that's the model we've chosen that's part of the preset, Leonardo Phoenix. With the Leonardo Phoenix model and preset, you can use a negative prompt and tell it there's things specifically that you do not want to see in the generated image. I haven't tried that a lot, but when I did, it kind of ignored me. And you can use a fixed seed if you want to generate based on an image that you kind of like, but want to make some tweaks to. One of the most distinctive things about Leonardo's Phoenix model is that it can do text. It can put text in your image. Now, it's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but it is a whole lot better than if you're trying text in any of the other Leonardo models before. And you can see this in one of my most recent generation attempts here, where the YouTube logo is supposed to be in the background of these gentlemen. And while we got the logo right in the background on some of these, the text just wouldn't work for most of them. Let's start fresh and try some prompts and see what we can get out of this model. What I just typed in is a McDonald's restaurant in the year 2099. That's my prompt, but I have this auto turned on over here for the prompt enhance. So it's going to read this and probably change it up. I'm going to leave it on fast generation mode and medium size. And while that's running, I'll go ahead and switch the fast to quality in the generation mode and hit generate again so that we'll have both a fast and a quality and we can see the differences in the two. All right, so fast has loaded. Let's see what our 4 options came up as. The McDonald's came out pretty well. There's something weird going on right here between the D and the S. I don't know that everybody would notice that. Overall, it's pretty good. We got the golden arches everywhere, and then we have some of the writing in here is just non-words, I don't think. I don't know what it is. But we're also in 2099 where I guess cell phones are giant holograms and robots are running around among us. These appear to be menu boards up flanking the sign on either side, but nothing in there is really readable, to me at least, and I wouldn't be bothered by that because it's supposed to be very, very small, so maybe that stuff you can't read. Let's try another one. That McDonald's is spelled pretty good. We've got 2099 showing up in neon over here in the top left. And one thing I've noticed is it does seem to pull things from your prompt, words or elements from your prompt, and put them sometimes in text form in different places that you weren't necessarily going for. In 2099, it looks like Mickey D's has a huge menu because it wraps all the way around the front of the building going across there. And we have our robots around. Now there's some signs inside you can read, like I can read this one, but I can't tell you what it says because that doesn't look like any language. Here's another one. Again, this one did pretty good with the McDonald's. I think we kind of overdid it with the golden arches, got the menu boards going on, and the same types of bots or beings or whatever rolling around. And here's one where we got McDonald's twice, once on the top and then once down a little bit lower. It did great with that text. I see text inside that it did not do so great with because I don't know what that's supposed to be. We could pretend it's just so far away that you can't read it and probably be okay with that. We should probably look at what it changed our prompt into. So remember, I typed in a McDonald's restaurant in 2099, and this is what it changed my prompt to. A futuristic McDonald's restaurant rendered in neon lit cyberpunk digital art, and a whole lot of other details that I never would have considered. And I can tell right away that there's some difference in the overall style between the ones I did in fast versus quality and then the ones I did in quality. And part of that difference is because I have the prompt enhance on. When I typed that prompt, the McDonald's restaurant in 2099, and hit generate, it generated this specific prompt for that generation. Now, I didn't copy that prompt and reuse it exactly as is when I switched and said, let's try quality. I just said a McDonald's restaurant in the year 2099 and hit generate, so it generated a whole new enhanced prompt to then generate these images from. So the second prompt that I had quality set on is different than the prompt where I had the fast generation set. And that can be good or bad, but I just want to explain that it's not just a matter of having the quality turned on that got us this whole different style. It's not only did we have this set on fast and this set on quality, but a different prompt was produced from the enhancement for this first one than what was enhanced and generated for the second one. Hopefully that makes sense. Let's see what it did. My McDonald's looks good. All of these, the quality has been really good, and that's one thing I have to say for this Phoenix model. I think the quality is really, really good. Here's our second one. It got the text really good on top of this one, not so much in the little sign that you can see in the window. Here we've got golden arches aplenty and a nice text sign on the right side here. On the left, it's okay. Another generation, it did great. It looks like on this text on the right side of the building. I don't know why the building sort of has wings here. The left, not so much. And that seems to be a theme I've encountered, is that if it's putting the text in multiple places, it seems to have one that it really focuses on getting the text right, and then the accessory spots, maybe not so much. And that one came out well as well. This looks like I don't know, what is that? A big bus or a ship or something? Interesting. And that's all it boils down to create with Leonardo Phoenix. Type in your prompt. If you leave the auto enhance on, it will enhance that prompt and make it a whole lot more detailed. One thing that I'm on the fence about is that with the prompt enhance, there's no opportunity to change that prompt before you send it. So if I have prompt enhance set to auto and I come up here and I put in my prompt, I say a dog sitting in the backyard. Now maybe in my mind, I'm seeing a specific dog, but I didn't think about that detail. And I have prompt enhance turned to auto. When I hit generate, boom, it just changed that prompt to a vibrant oil painting of a dog sitting in a serene backyard, surrounded by lush, warm, blah, blah, blah. It just took my prompt, a dog sitting in the backyard, and came up with this, a vibrant oil painting, blah, blah, blah. I don't have a spot to say, all right, fine, that's an overall good enhancement, but let's tweak this, that, or the other thing. It just creates the prompt and then it sends it. And maybe I don't want an oil painting. Maybe I wanted a photograph or something like that. If that's how you want to use it, then you should probably come over here to where it says auto, turn that to off so that it won't automatically enhance your prompt. And then after you type in your prompt, come over here to the little magic AI button, click that and say improve prompt. That will generate the details of a prompt and let you edit them before you click the generate button. Frankly, when I'm using the other models and even when I use this improve prompt function where I can edit it before I send it, usually I just send it. I type in a dog sitting in the backyard, click improve prompt. I don't read what it says. I just generate. And then when it comes up, that's when I see, oh no, that's gross. I wanted a picture, not an oil painting. And that's when I'll go edit the prompt and regenerate from it. If you're trying to conserve tokens, that's a bad idea. You can avoid wasting like 30 some tokens by seeing before you send this that an oil painting is not what you want. Or the prompt has changed up and said a Doberman and you wanted a golden retriever. Whatever. So for me personally, I like to leave the auto on, take my chances with it, and a lot of times it gives me things I never would have thought about, and fiddling with the prompt most of the time isn't going to be a good thing for me. Now, it's not a lost cause, even if the prompt comes out to be not what you want. If this pops up and, okay, that's sort of what I was thinking, but I didn't want an oil painting, I can come right down here to where this prompt is, click this little up arrow that says reuse prompts, and now it's going to drop that prompt right in the prompt box, and I can just take out this oil painting part and say photograph. And I just had to read through to make sure it wasn't talking about brush strokes or any weird things like that that would make it think it's an oil painting and get it confused. And you might have noticed that it didn't do anything with this prompt. My guess is because this prompt is already so long and detailed as it is, what I typed in the prompt box or what I pasted in the prompt box was already so long and detailed that it decided not to make a change to it. And I've had that experience with Leonardo Phoenix with other prompts that I've typed in, the ones where I've happened to be very detailed in them, it didn't make any change on the prompt enhance. I guess it said, whoa, this guy's pretty specific about what he wants here. We better not mess with this. I'm just guessing at what the robots are thinking. They don't talk to me. I don't know. So this is what we came up with when we just copied that prompt and I changed oil painting to photograph. And there's another really cool new button, and it's right here, this little pencil icon. It's right next to where we said reuse prompts. And this one is edit with AI. And what this lets you do is talk to Leonardo like a chatbot, just like you would with ChatGPT or something, about this specific image. So let's click the little pencil icon, and it gives you some examples here. And keep in mind, these aren't specific to these pictures that we just did, but maybe change the coat to red if you have a person there wearing a blue coat, or add a blue hat, or make it vintage, or add dramatic lighting. Now we want to make sure we have used fixed seed checked here. We want to leave that checked. It's going to be checked by default. Just don't turn it off because that way it'll be using the same seed that this round of images was generated from, so you get the most similar results. We'll say add a doghouse in the background. Now that's going to take me 32 tokens to generate, which is the same as what it took me to generate the 4 images to begin with. And to that end, down here, remember we came up with this oil painting because we auto enhanced the prompt and it said oil painting and I really wanted a photograph. Well, I could come click the pencil icon next to this generation to get me to edit with AI and say, make it an ultra realistic photograph. So instead of reusing the prompt and regenerating, I just click edit with AI next to these images that came out as oil paintings and say, make it an ultra realistic photograph. Again, same number of tokens as it did to originally generate. And we'll see what that does. But look, our doghouse from the edit with AI is done, and I think it did a fine job. These look better than my house. But just by simply edit with AI and telling it put a doghouse in the background, poof, we got a doghouse in the background. And then this batch of 4 is where we took the oil painting version and used the little pencil icon, edit with AI, and said, make this an ultra realistic photograph. And this is what it turned those into. Wow, it's unbelievable that like this dog doesn't exist. Everything there just looks incredibly real. I'm still sort of blown away by this. This was the prompt with the oil painting, and then just by clicking that button and saying make it an ultra realistic photograph, that's how we ended up with these 4. So let me show you some other things that I've been generating with the Leonardo Phoenix model. Of course, you saw the YouTube deal here. This was just an experiment because I saw an image in the feed I copied and pasted the prompt, but it was this exact prompt using a different model. And the one dude had 2 feet, and the other guy, his leg just sort of disappeared into the couch. It was weird. So I wanted to see how Phoenix would do generating this same thing compared to how that model did. What Phoenix did is really impressive. Although we have the issue with the YouTube logo back there, I didn't see any of them where people had extra limbs or things that were molding into furniture or anything like that. So needed some work on the text, but otherwise did a really good job. Now, all these that say Sunday school, my brother's church is creating some kind of a program, and he said they had an idea of something that they wanted for it and asked me to see if I could come up with something. And basically, they wanted like a 90s style graffiti with Sunday school sort of as the centerpiece of that graffiti. Fortunately, his timing was very good because he asked for that right after Leonardo Phoenix came out. And this is what I was able to generate. Leonardo did all this text on its own. These are, part of the image. I didn't overlay a text layer or anything like that. And the ones where you see it spelled with a K, Sunday school, I had it generate a couple using SKOOL instead of SCHOOL, because sometimes when you change something like that, it can have sort of a different connotation, which might bring in different style elements or changes. And I just wanted to see what it would come up with if I used school with a K instead of with a CH. Overall, it did very, very well. I have already deleted several that either had 3 O's in school, or a lot of times it was trying to put an I between the sun and the day. So Sunday is all one word. It was trying to tuck an I behind it or over it or in between sun and day. So I have deleted some here. So I don't want to lead you to believe that every one came out completely usable. I ended up with 75 images here that I'm showing you, and there were probably 100-ish that I generated in total. So 25%, I'd say, were just no good. The text was not usable in them. In generating these, I did have the prompt enhance set to auto, so I gave it basically that I wanted the words Sunday school, and I put that in quotes. So my basic prompt was something like the words Sunday school, and I put those 2 words in quotations, quote, Sunday school, end quote, front and center, something like that, prominently in the center of other graffiti, and some of the graffiti elements should be Christian themed, and I think I said 90s style. Couple of places I said in the style of the opening sequence of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, which was interesting because in some of those, like you can see in this one, it included that right here, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I just wanted that style. I didn't really want those words, but it gave them to me anyway. Not the end of the world. It's kind of amusing, actually. Oh, and here's my prompt. This one, it did not change. This is where I guess I put in enough detail that the auto enhancement didn't feel like it needed to do anything with it. Also, if you saw my community post the other day, I asked what you create, and there's part of an image in there. I forget which one of these I ultimately ended up using, but I asked it to have a man holding a sign over his head that says, "What do you create?" And I tried it in different styles and came up with different things, but you can see I typed in a man holding a sign over his head that says, "What do you create?" And this is the whole big prompt that the auto prompt enhance developed. Bless its heart, that's too much for me. Using that same prompt, I did get some weird results in it, like this, where did my text go? It wasn't in there, and I was looking for a man, not a cartoon kid, but it's okay. These aren't bad, they just aren't what I wanted at all. I was also trying the words "what do you do" a few times until I figured "what do you create" would be better. One of the earlier batches, I told it what to say, and I don't know why the signs, every single sign in this one came out completely unusable. My text wasn't there at all. But that's okay, because then this batch, they came out great. If you've watched my other videos, then you know that I have this chronic problem of trying to get railroad tracks in an AI-generated image from the mid-1800s. Most of the time, I get these squiggly weird things that do I don't know what. A train cannot go on them. But this batch actually gave me some parallel train tracks. One of the four in that generation would not work because train tracks cannot do this. At this point here, it looks like the train tracks go wide, and this would work like me on skis when that happens, and it doesn't work. One wheel of the train can't go right while the other one goes left. It just doesn't work. But otherwise, it's a pretty neat image, and I could take that into Canvas and just edit that little part out. Here are some others that auto enhance prompt gave me an oil painting, and there's just a whole lot of weirdness going on here. If I want people working on the railroad in the 1850s, these guys just seem to be like standing in a field. The train's over there, fellas, and I don't know. They have sticks in their hands that don't seem to have any tools attached to them. I don't know what they're doing, but the arms on these dudes, holy cow. They've got forearms of steel. They do tend to look like twins or triplets or quadruplets or quintuplets. I don't know. They all look alike. That's strange. But hey, they're not all going to work. This batch here, I just wanted to see what Times Square would look like. This is one thing that I'm not a huge fan of about the Phoenix Auto Enhance prompt is you can see what prompt was used to create this image, but that's the enhanced prompt. I didn't type all that. I think I typed something like Times Square in the year 2150 or 2050 or something. There's a ton of text in Times Square, all the signs, all the neon, all the bright lights. I just wanted to see how it would do with that. It did some okay and some not. Then this part down here is pretty cool. I mean, cabs are wild in New York, but I don't know. I think these cabs maybe they're duplicating on the street or something. Here's more of my McDonald's, which I kind of showed you live how that worked because I couldn't remember the prompt that I used to generate these, so I figured I'd start from scratch. But this one, I said generate an image of the YouTube homepage. I think this one I might have said like in the year 2200. It did a pretty decent job. If you look real closely at the T in YouTube, that's split. There's something weird going on there. But hey, maybe that's what the logo will look like in the year, whatever, 2200. And then I imagined that one a few different ways, and I thought this was kind of hysterical. I guess YouTube is going to go back to its roots. So 50, 100 years from now, the cat videos will take over YouTube. You have been warned. And I started off with the simplest prompt that I could think of when I'm thinking, what do? I want some text. I want to see how that works. To get these, I just typed in a man holding a sign that reads, quote, "The earth is flat, change my mind," end quote. And this is what it came up with. And I was like, okay, yeah, we can do text now. That guy seems awfully tall to me. I could be wrong. Overall, I am really impressed with Leonardo AI's new Phoenix model. And you don't have to just look at the stupid stuff that I've created. If we go back here to the showcase, we see folks have been putting text into their images, like the "I'm an idiot. I don't know why the poor bunny has a stack of pancakes on his head, but I totally sympathize with the I'm an idiot sentiment." Here we've got some flaming letters over on the left. We've got letters on fire and the Phoenix and the Rise. Some cool chrome font here with an I love Leonardo AI. Here we've got like a movie poster. I've seen a couple of those that people have done. This shell deal was one of the first ones I saw, and I thought that is pretty cool because a lot of times we'll see these like cinematic scenes and whatnot, and they'll have real life things in the background, but the words or the signs are always just way off. They're either blurred or they're blank or they're gobbledygook, and I like that this adds some realism to it. Overall, I think the Leonardo Phoenix model is pretty cool for a couple of reasons. One, I like the quality of images that are coming out of it. I'm finding a lot less problems in the initial generation using Leonardo Phoenix with things like hands and basic anatomy and that sort of stuff. I love that it can incorporate text. Again, not perfect, but way better than what we've seen so far. Phoenix is the first model developed entirely by Leonardo. It's not a stable diffusion model. It's one of their in-house deals, and I think they've done a bang-up job with it. If we keep going in this direction, we're in for good things. The other main thing with the Leonardo Phoenix model is the prompt enhance, being able to set that to auto or turn it off. Again, if you want to be able to type in a basic short prompt and have it make your prompt better, but you want to see it before you send it and spend your tokens, switch this to off, and then over here, after you've typed in your short prompt, click your little magic AI button and click improved prompt. Now, if your prompt is over 200 characters, improved prompt won't work. It assumes you've already got enough detail in there that you don't want to hear from it. But if you're like me and don't have the attention span to always check the prompts before they go, I switch this over to automatic, type in my little short prompt, and send it. I hope you found this helpful. If you're not using Leonardo yet, I don't know why. There's a link in the description. It is an affiliate link, so if you end up going to a paid Leonardo plan, which you don't have to, there's a free plan that gives you 100 and some tokens every day to play with. You don't get every single feature, but you get enough to keep you busy and entertained for quite a while creating images. Check that out. But if at some point after following my link you end up going with a paid plan, I may receive a small commission, and I sincerely appreciate it. I got a bunch of teenage boys in this house, and they eat a lot. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.